Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Costa, the Executive Director of the Women's Refugee Commission. And thank you all for being here. I have to put my glasses on so I can read. 800,000 people are killed in Rwanda in 100 days. Serbian artillery is shelling Sarajevo. Nelson Mandela is elected in South Africa's first interracial election. And some 20,000 delegates gather in Cairo to put women's rights at the center of international population policy. It all seems an eternity ago. All those things happened in 1994, 17 years ago. Think of everything that's happened since then. All the changes in your life, internet, cell phones, hybrid cars, the new skills you've acquired. And then consider that the average refugee situation lasts for 17 years. 17 years where displaced people have, for the most part, missed out on these changes. They have been idle, dependent, and often isolated from the larger world. Consider, too, that 80% of those uprooted by conflict are women, children, and youth. They can spend a whole generation or more living in camps or in urban slums. They may be unable to work, at risk of abuse and exploitation, forced to sell food rations, or even their bodies to survive. This reality demands new thinking and new solutions. And that's what we do. More than 20 years ago, a group of committed, courageous women realized that we needed an organization that would work on behalf of displaced women and children. After visiting refugee camps, these women, who included our founders, Lee Ullman and Catherine O'Neill, asked some very basic questions. What's happening to women and children? Why aren't their needs being addressed? And why is no one talking to them? They came back determined to build a space of compassion, care, and listening, determined that the voices of women and children would be heard in the halls of power. The Women's Refugee Commission has filled this void since 1989, and as you have seen in the film, we conduct research and fact-finding missions where we listen to women and children who've been uprooted by conflict or disasters. We use what we learn to develop tools and guidance to change practice. And then we advocate to drive this change through the humanitarian system. We are proud of what we've achieved. We work for refugees to have an opportunity to earn a living and become self-reliant, to have safe access to cooking fuel, and to give birth safely. We work so that children can go to school and be protected from all forms of violence. In the US, we are working to change policies so that children are not separated from their immigrant parents when their parents are detained or deported. We're in a historical moment. More people than ever are talking about women's empowerment and women's rights at the UN, at the State Department, and in the media. And there's a growing understanding that the most pressing social and economic challenges of our times cannot be resolved without the full participation of women. The Women's Refugee Commission is shaping this debate. Our voice ensures that behind this rhetoric are genuine efforts to promote and protect the rights of displaced women and young people. What is our vision for the future? As we respond to the rapidly changing environment, We will take on new issues, issues that have been overlooked for far too long. As we've heard, more than half of all refugees now live in cities, not in camps, hidden among the urban poor. Every time a refugee woman in Kampala goes to work, she's at risk of being abused or exploited by her employer, or hassled by the police. Their stories of resilience need to be told. We are listening, and we are developing new strategies to help urban refugees access safe economic opportunities and basic services. In South Sudan, an adolescent girl is more likely to die in childbirth than graduate from high school. Adolescent girls, refugee adolescent girls, are among the most vulnerable people on earth. We are working to help young women better protect themselves and navigate the multiple risks they confront in crisis-affected settings. Right now, a midwife in Congo is struggling to save the life of a woman who's experiencing complications if she gives birth. Our new maternal health campaign, Mama, is reaching midwives and other maternal health workers through Facebook and text messages. Even the most isolated areas, health workers will now have a support network and a learning community. This is a very bold and innovative way to use this technology to improve healthcare and save lives. Our work is about changing policy and humanitarian practice for all. But to do this effectively, it's also about strengthening partnerships on the ground. This means we will be working more with local groups, women's organizations, and community leaders who can and should play a critical role in making change happen in their communities. The work of this organization has inspired me, and I look forward to helping it grow to the next level, building on its great legacy. Who wouldn't be inspired to follow in the footsteps of our founders, one of whom, Liv Ullmann, is here today. And my predecessors, Marianne Schwalbe, Mary Diaz, and Carolyn Makinson. And I thank you all, board members, commissioners, donors, colleagues and friends, and of course, my amazing staff. You all do so much to help the Women's Refugee Commission, and we're really very appreciative. Experience has taught me improving the lives of women and girls and unleashing their agency to act and advocate for themselves is essential for achieving meaningful change and for building a more just and peaceful world. We hope you will partner with us to help the refugee women and young people realize their talents and lead safe, healthy, and productive lives. Thank you.